David, good to see you for the second day in a row now. You were with us yesterday talking about what went down at Chelsea and Leicester City. Today, we'll try to move it forward and where the clubs go from here. Let's start with Chelsea and who might be on their radar, David.
Ahmed, the process to appoint a new head coach here at Chelsea is now underway. And there are a number of key names in the frame because Chelsea have now drawn up a shortlist. It includes Julian Nagelsmann, who was recently sacked by Bayern Munich. It includes Luis Enrique. And there will be contacts with a number of others as well, such as Mauricio Pochettino. And those contacts are now starting to be initiated as Chelsea look to move on. And the reason they want to move on is because of the potential competition. Tottenham Hotspur are also looking for a manager. Paris Saint-Germain could be in the market in not too long too. Real Madrid possibly at the end of the season. And from what we hear, the likes of Mauricio Pochettino and Julian Nagelsmann may be interested in the Real Madrid post. So I think Chelsea are trying to steal a march on their rivals. Who will be leading this process? Well, the co-sporting directors, Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, they will undertake what we're being told is an exhaustive, thorough, a diligent process in which they will study data, they will hold conversations and meetings, and they will make recommendations to the controlling co-owners, Bedad Eghbali and Todd Boehly, for ultimately a decision to be made as soon as they can. But they're prioritizing a quality decision rather than a quick one. One person who won't be getting the job is Roberto De Zerbi of Brighton and Hove Albion, so they can rest a little bit more easily that Chelsea won't be coming for another of their staff members. He didn't fit the profile, so he won't be on the list, and contact has not been established on that front. But this, of course, is a huge moment for this ownership. They need to get it right. There is a huge summer ahead. Before that, they face Real Madrid, of course, in the Champions League quarterfinals, and that is huge. But when it comes to the summer, there are contract renewals to be done. There's more recruitment. There are other issues on the plate of the owners, such as the stadium here at Stamford Bridge, or perhaps a move. There is a multi-club model that they want to institute. But the most important priority right now is the head coach process, and that process is underway.
All right, David, we will put a pin in that discussion on Chelsea for a second. Move ahead to Leicester City. It's long been rumored that perhaps Brendan Rodgers was on the way out there, so maybe they're farther ahead in that process. Am I right in assuming that, David?
You are not right on this occasion, Ahmed, because they, like Chelsea and Tottenham, do not have somebody lined up, or they did not have somebody lined up to replace Brendan Rodgers when he was sacked over the weekend. And that means that they have an interim team in place of Adam Sadler and Mike Stowell. They are both popular and well known among the players in their own right. I don't think we should completely rule out an interim appointment coming in from outside. It depends how results go with that huge game against Aston Villa to start with. And the final straw for the Leicester owners with Brendan Rodgers was that defeat at Crystal Palace on Saturday. It didn't just show them that there were fundamental problems with the team, but it also said that this is what a change in manager can do, the bounce late in the season with Roy Hodgson coming in. But I think Leicester, or the candidates that Leicester might be looking at, will be saying, well, what do we want to be coming to Leicester for at this moment in time, with the potential damage it could do to our careers and our CVs and reputation if we are to be relegated? So they may go on like this. One person who it won't be is Graham Potter. There were some reports that Potter had turned the opportunity down. I'm told they are not accurate. There is a clear link because his agent is the same agent that represents Jamie Vardy and who also brought Brendan Rodgers to Leicester. But I think that's a little bit convenient. Let's see what the summer brings for Graham Potter. Other names in the frame include the likes of Rafael Benitez, Adi Hütter, an Austrian coach, Ralph Hasenhüttl, Steve Cooper if he was to leave Nottingham Forest. There are consistent rumours about that, and even Nigel Pearson. When I say in the mix or being linked, I mean with bookmakers as opposed to hard evidence on that one. But Leicester have a big job on their hands because they have a raft of players out of contract. Yuri Tielemans coming up, not too long until James Maddison too the following summer. James Maddison pretty much the only player who had improved under Brendan Rodgers. I think the players were in favour of his departure. He has said he had faith in himself to keep Leicester in the Premier League. Clearly, the owners didn't agree. Whoever is going to be stepping into the breach is going to have to do that job, or Leicester face a demise in the Premier League
A lot of business to take care of if you're over there at Leicester City right now. Our Premier League insider David Ornstein with all the latest information. Guys, how great is it having David Ornstein on speed dial with what has gone down in the Premier League this season and just here recently over the last couple of days. Welcome in studio, Ahmed Fareed, Danny Higginbotham, and Tim Howard. Now, Danny, you were here yesterday discussing what is going down at Chelsea. Tim, this is the first time you have been on set since this all went down. Let's take a step back for a second. And what do you think, your perceptions, your analysis of what's happening at Chelsea?
Surprising. You know, I think Todd Boehly is a successful businessman. He's shrewd in a lot of his other endeavors. So I don't think he took this decision lightly by any stretch of the imagination. But in my opinion, he should have backed Graham Potter. He has a bunch of players that he's spent a bunch of money on that are underperforming. The players have to take that on their shoulders. Now, of course, ultimately the manager is responsible for that, but he's 7 months into the job. I'd have liked to see Todd Boehly come out and publicly back his manager and say, guess what? I spent a load of money on this squad, and you all are underperforming, so step it up and play better for the coach. I know that seems simplistic, but at least if there was a plan in place, if you thought Graham Potter was the right man for the job, that, in my opinion, is the way it could have gone. I don't think they're going to win the Champions League, whether it's with an interim manager or a new manager. I don't think they're going to finish top 4 with an interim manager or a new manager. So to give Graham Potter to the end of the season, to try and figure out, let the dust settle a little bit, that would have been my preference. As we heard David speak there, the common factor is there's world-class managers, kind of in an abundance. There's probably 4. There's Nagelsmann, there's Luis Enrique, there's Zidane, there's Pochettino. When those managers and other managerial vacancies are coming up, you have to probably act. If you think maybe this isn't working out with our manager, those managers are going to be gone very quickly. So I'm almost certain, as what David said, that played into the thinking as well.
Yeah, they're saying they want to be thorough, they want to take their time. Do they have that luxury, Danny?
To a certain extent, they do. The biggest thing that stands out for me with all these managers that Tim's just mentioned, top-class managers, interference. Now, Thomas Tuchel, he was obviously at the club when Todd Boehly took over, and he didn't like what he saw. He didn't like the way that the club was going. For me, Todd Boehly's making all the signings. Now, if you look at a Nagelsmann, if you look at a Pochettino, if you look at an Enrique, if you look at a Zidane, they're their own managers. And there's no way that they're going to go to Chelsea Football Club knowing full well that the man above them is making all the signings and saying, here's a group of players, you go and make them play. The squad is so unbalanced, it's unbelievable. Now, you can guarantee if managers are signing players, then the first thing that Graham Potter would have wanted was a centre-forward. And they bought everything other than a recognised centre-forward. So that's where the problems can start to occur, is if you are an owner that thinks he can go and get these managers and you bring the manager in for an interview and he says, OK, that's fine, but then Todd Boehly turns around and goes, but I'm having a big say in the signings. Those managers we just mentioned, they're going to walk away.
The other thing they have to be careful about, guys, is the old regime under Abramovich, there was hirings and firings every day of the week, it seemed like, with the managers. The difference is those managers won. Oftentimes, there's managers winning European trophies, Premier League trophies, FA Cups, and then they get sacked. Okay, fine. That's a way of doing it because you're having success. This will be the 3rd manager under Todd Boehly, and there is no success there. So he's got to be very, very careful.
And I also think Abramovich spent a lot of money, but the manager decided what players were brought in.
Yeah.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.